The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nelles, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
Good morning and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the free Odyssey and iHeart apps. Not to correct Big Voice Lady or anything like that, but just keeping it real. My name is Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. So much to get to today, but let's welcome in the one, the only, IRL in real life. He's in studio. He's always in real life because life is real. Mason Crosby.
Yes.
Wrong mic.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I know, I'm messing everything up, being in studio so much.
You were at the right spot.
Yeah,
that was my fault.
these last few.
My fault.
Hey, you got to work a little harder whenever I come in studio, right?
It's true.
That's
a good point. Yes.
Oh yeah, no, Tommy,
look at Tommy. Like
Tommy is on one this morning.
Vociferous head
Man,
nod.
yeah.
Yes, we do have to work harder.
I was playing charity golf yesterday. I didn't miss because I just wanted to. I wasn't on vacation. Come on, Tommy. Why are you so angry with me?
We should have. Oh, Tommy, here we go. Go ahead, Tommy.
I have nothing to say.
We should have called you we should have done a quick hit.
Yeah.
We should have done that.
We had some time.
As I was driving away yesterday, I was like, Mason's just golfing. Like, he can take 2 minutes to say hi.
Yeah.
And I was like, I should have just called him. Like,
we should have talked about it.
Yeah.
I could have just been walking with my earbud in and just having a conversation because, I was working yesterday. It was we overachieved. I think
Wisconsin
with the
Athletic
group we
Hall
had.
of Fame golf outing. Who were some of the celebs there? I saw a video with another Whitefish Bay dad, like a buddy of mine.
Oh yeah,
he took like a TikTok with Jordy. I'm like, well, Matt, if I'd known you were going, I would have come.
Yeah, you could have ridden around. I mean, I had my own cart. We could have just done this.
Brian and Mark told me to come, and I was like, after the show, I was like, I don't know if I want to. Yeah. Anyway, so who was there? So
it was
Jordy
me.
there.
So like kind of main athletic athlete celebrities.
Yeah, I don't really care. Like
Jordy, Drive, myself, and Bonnie Blair. So obviously Bonnie.
Nice.
So Bonnie won the celebrity putting contest. She was
legit?
She's a baller. Yeah.
Wow.
She literally one rotation from making the putt. It was her and Jordy. I underachieved on that. I putted pretty well the rest of the day. But
how's it feel to lose to someone older than me?
I feel good about it. Bonnie Blair. I mean, I just it's like we're not worthy. It's just like she is just she's the all-time best.
Like she's over 60.
Yeah.
Like, how is that even possible that she is...
The energy and the juice she brings into every situation.
Like, I want that energy now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't have that energy at 49, and she's 61, and just, like, unbelievable.
Yeah, we're at the Chop House there at Grand Geneva, and I met our buddy, what was his name, who we had on last night, the general manager.
Zach.
Yeah. Zach. He was great. Hosted the thing, but we were at the Chop House, and all of a sudden I look over and Bonnie Blair's sitting next to me, and I'm just like, "You want some wine? Let's have some fun.
Like, let's go."
So we had a good time, and just what a cool event. Obviously, Lammy and his group they do a great job, like they did with the Hall of Fame event on Thursday night. It was just well run, well organized. Everybody had a lot of fun. There were fun things. You got to hit a marshmallow. Who could hit a marshmallow the farthest?
That's fun.
Which I've never done that before. Yeah. And if you didn't know, marshmallows make a very loud noise whenever you rip a driver into them. It explodes.
Tommy, would you have guessed that a marshmallow makes a big noise?
I don't believe him, even though you just said that. Honestly,
it was shocking.
How do they?
Well, I mean, I swing really hard.
Wow. I mean, okay,
that's true.
All right.
That's a given.
But I still think that I don't know how that's like physics.
Well, it's one of those large ones, and I don't know if there's air kind of trapped inside there. But I mean,
some air inside a marshmallow.
It was really loud. It was impressive. I did not win that one either. I didn't win anything yesterday. At least I won my softball game.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
It happens. We'll get to the softball game. We did talk about also that last night we were thinking about do we want to get to the game? Do we want to go to the sports book at Potawatomi and watch the game? And you conked out a little early last night.
I did.
Would you have a busy week?
I was a tired little baby last night.
Little guy.
I mean, it was.
Guy.
I was like, oh, just and I brought one of the kids is here with me. My little Elizabeth did not want me to be
she's
by
out of the
myself.
studio right now.
Yeah.
So is that like a is that like a did she win the sibling competition for the
She
weekend?
just volunteered and just was like, hey, like I don't want to fly back with everybody. Like I want to ride back with Dad.
Okay.
And so I'm like,
and that's cool.
so yeah,
awesome.
She's along for the ride. You know how it is like the kids getting one-on-one time, especially with our group of 5.
Yes.
Like to get her, just she's alone hanging with me, getting to do all this fun stuff. I mean,
it's a blast.
So yeah, and then I was talking to him last night. Like the sports book there at Potawatomi was packed.
Oh, I'm sure.
And there were probably like what's
a lot of
great
Cubs fans
is
too,
a lot
right?
of Cubs tears probably in those
Yes.
drinks last night. I mean,
yes, sir.
I'm walking into that space. I mean, it was crazy. It was fun, but yeah, probably a lot of sad Cubs fans coming back to that hotel after the Brewers just thumped them.
As it should be. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. The Milwaukee Brewers topped the Cubs last night, 8-4 at AmFam Field after going down 3-0 in that first inning. And Jacob Mizorowski had all sorts of, there were some issues. There were some weird plays. There was some awkwardness. I got to say, Mason, after that first inning, like I think I probably would have gone to the sports book, and if my heart wasn't involved at all,
yeah,
and I'm just using my head, I would have bet all the money on the Cubs to win that game.
Oh, for sure.
And how awesome that the Brewers, not that the Brewers are going to give up, but you're down 3-0 against Chicago's ace. Logic says you're going to lose this game,
no doubt.
giving up 3 in the top of the first.
In the first,
and they so let's talk about that first.
Yeah,
Mizorowski. A million pitches.
And I just love our text thread, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Tommy
Tommy's like,
owned it.
yeah, I hate the Brewers. And we all jump on, and it's like, this thing's over.
Whoa.
What was that?
Sorry, I know what the problem is.
Tommy did something fun.
Nope, I was trying to do something cool, and then I forgot that the sound wasn't on there. But I basically after this moment, it was over.
Oh, Vaughn! Deep left center! He's done it again! Vaughn is the Brewers' pretty new pet.
And that's what put him up 4-3.
Yeah.
But let's go back to...
And once they got to 4, I knew
Right.
they were winning.
Exactly.
Like I was like, all
That's
right,
what
this
they do.
thing's over. Yeah.
Well, let's go back to the top of the first.
Yep.
Top of the first, a dinky hit by Bush to lead things off.
Yeah, like when Miz is on the mound, is like weird things happen. Like some runs, some stuff gets kind of
so
squirrely.
hard and at such a weird angle that, I mean, even like when Nico Horner was up and he's fouling off 10 straight pitches or whatever it was, it felt like 10 straight pitches. It's like Miz can't get out of there because he's too good.
Yeah.
Like the Cubs are really good at hitting fastballs.
Yeah.
Well, you can't hit Miz,
Yeah.
but you can foul off Miz.
Yeah.
And that's going to...
So just kept him alive.
Right.
It was like,
They just worked his pitch count and worked his pitch count and worked his
I
pitch
saw
count.
a couple times. I mean, he had a couple 10 pitches,
Yes.
at bats with
yep.
some of those guys. Like, I mean, that's
So we
insane.
have the comebacker that hits him on the knee.
Yep.
Second time he's been hit this year. He got hit last game, right? And he's okay. He this time he actually let the trainers come out and look at him and talk to him. And then he had that little dinker by Happ right in front of home plate, which I got to admit, like Mizorowski got the worst jump ever. Like he was not Thunder or
ready
Tommy
for it.
on defense
No,
on
he
that
wasn't.
one.
Yeah.
Because he got there slow, and I think because he got there slow, that's when he lost focus on the throw.
Yeah.
Because it should have been 1-0.
Yeah.
Like they should have given up one
For
run,
sure.
and that should have been it.
Stretched
But
it
even the
out.
fact they're down 3-0, and Boyd's on the mound. He's given up 4 runs once all year. It was against the Reds. I think in Cincinnati, which is a bandbox. And that the Brewers kept coming. And then Isaac Collins is the dog. Like I love when he does something because Tommy or I are going to write in the group chat immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Isaac Collins,
Yeah.
dog. Like we
But
might
they're
spell it
talking about why is he not being considered more for rookie of the year?
I mean, he is.
I mean, he's got to be one of the top prospects, like non-pitcher.
Right. No, he has been I think because it's been such a shock.
Yeah.
And nobody saw this coming. Like there was so a couple of weeks ago when you were out, I had the play-by-play voice of the Nashville Sounds on.
Yeah.
And Collins
I remember
played
that.
with Nashville
Yeah.
last year. And they were even like, who is this guy last year? Like
Yeah.
they'd never heard of him as a prospect when he played with Nashville last year, and then he proved them all wrong.
Well, just
And he
like
proved that he can
think
play.
of the hit that he had, like to go opposite field, with runners in scoring position, just to just get those guys in without any real issue it's so impressive. I mean, it's just like that's just so awesome.
You mean this hit?
Line to right, a base hit. That'll tie the game. Vaughn headed for third. It's a brand new.
Went with a fastball down the middle. He was protecting against a changeup, able to barrel it up and hit a bullet into right.
Mrs. Thunder and I are watching a new show on Netflix right now,
Oh,
and so
what is
we're
that?
watching the show, and I had the game on my phone.
Yeah.
But anytime
I like
anything
multitasking,
happened,
yeah.
we threw the game up on the regular
Nice.
TV because she wanted to watch. She just didn't need to watch, especially if we're down 3-0, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But immediately when it was 3-0 and we had 2 on, I threw it up. We get it to 3-1.
Yeah.
And then that hit by Collins, and it's like brand new game.
I know.
And then the
It
next
was
inning.
insane.
And then the next inning, I mean, Tommy already played it. But for Andrew Vaughn, was unbelievable his first 6 games. And then he had he struggled a little bit. Like, he didn't play great in Seattle. He didn't play great against the Marlins. And for him to come up and hit that home run. And then Sal, right off the disabled list. just a few days ago.
I mean, what a game he had.
He did, yeah.
Coming right back.
And it's great to see him.
We got to look at Contreras too. I mean, we were talking about him last week, and
We
it's
still
like,
are. We're still
it's just
are.
like, where's his bat? But I mean, what an outing he had last night. I mean, he had a great game.
Well, and he's the guy who they are keeping in the middle of that order. Like they might move other guys up and down.
Yeah,
Like
he's
they
just
play
an
with
anchor.
Frelick into terrain.
Yeah.
Where they've messed with all right, between Yelich, Contreras, and Churio, who's 2, 3, 4, they rotate those a little bit based on the matchup. But Contreras is always in that cluster of the meat of your order.
For
2,
sure.
3, 4, that's your best hitters. And as much as he's struggled this year, Pat Murphy trusts him, his teammates trust him, and he's staying there. And he's having good at-bats. And his overall numbers for the season might not show it. But then he cut, a game like last night, he goes 2 for 4 and scores 2 runs. 2 singles. And he grounds into a double play. That's going to happen. He's not fast. So if he hits a ground ball with a guy on first, it's going to be a double play. But for the top, Churio actually, we should mention that Churio's 20-game hit streak came to an end last night, right? He had a 20-game.
Dang it.
So
I
we
should have
picked
been
the wrong
a-
guy.
yeah.
Right. We
Jeez.
were talking about that yesterday as well. Because we
But
picked 2 and 22. We didn't pick 11.
That's true.
And that,
Gosh,
yeah.
that would have been, oh my
But
God.
Frelick with 2 hits, Contreras with 2 hits, Yelich with 2 hits, Vaughn with a homer, Collins with 2 hits. That cluster of guys
Oh, yeah.
got it done last night. And we've been counting so much on the bottom of the order
No doubt.
that sometimes it's nice when the top of the order shows up and says, hey, guys, hold our beer.
We got this.
We got this one.
Well, and then Armstrong doesn't have a hit in the game. So you keep some of your
is nuts.
some of their better players from doing anything crazy.
And,
And then the
besides-
fact that you gave up 3 runs in the first inning and then you only give up 1 run. The
3
rest
and 3 hits in the first
Yeah.
inning. 3 hits the rest of the game.
I know, just went after him, and that
Right.
I mean that's so impressive. Talk about that, and then you said Jackson Churio's name,
Yeah.
and I wanted to bring this up, just because I watching highlights and watching his play, and that throw out at third,
Yes.
at third base that he
Huge.
had was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
what a strike!
But a strike and at a time when
Oh,
they
yeah, it
needed
was so
that because
important.
it looked like the Cubs were getting back into it.
'Cause that's
The
why they scored the run,
Cubs
right? And
Fans
then,
were,
yeah.
they scored the run. The Cubs fans were starting to get a little loud on that
Yeah, you got to
one.
shut him up.
Yeah, love it.
Ground ball up the middle, a base hit. That'll get a run home. Bush will take the turn, go to third. Here's the throw all the way through. He's toast.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson
you hear that?
Churrio with a 1 hop dart to third to get the out.
Well, and Jackson Churrio, we've talked about this all year long, that he's not necessarily a natural center fielder.
Yeah.
And that there have been times where he's made, even on the first hit of the game.
Yeah.
So Michael Bush hits a flare. I don't think Churrio is going to get there, but he had a shot, and he pulls up and
Yeah.
lets it drop. And it's probably going to drop anyway, but Tommy
Not
would
if
go-
Tommy.
Tommy's
not
going
if,
out there,
not
right?
if Tommy's out there.
And so, how does that change things? But for him to come up with that play at that time, when if he doesn't make that play,
Yeah.
who knows what crooked number the Cubs put up, right?
Yeah, it could have gotten a little weird, but that's what this team does. I mean, they are just electric. Honestly, I got chills whenever I hear that clip and the crowd and what a turn, right? Because
Yes.
it's like, all right, Cubs score a run, and then he throws them out at third, and it's just like that crowd just was right back in the mix of things.
I think I think the biggest story, the biggest takeaway from last night, 414-677-1250. It's the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. The biggest story is that after that first inning, Jacob Misiorowski had 3 dominant innings. And so I don't know if it was nerves because it was Brewers-Cubs, and it was the first game of the series, or if he just, or if the Cubs might be a bad matchup for him. They talked a lot in that first inning how the Cubs are the best fastball hitting team in Major League Baseball. They're just going to bat on the ball. But an unbelievable performance for him to go 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, all in the first inning. I don't know. I don't think he was perfect in innings 2, 3, and 4. But he was darn close.
Well, didn't he get? Yeah, it's just like the next 10 batters. He just gets
final 10 batters of his outing.
That's what it was.
So he got Horner to end the first,
and
then the second, third, and fourth, he was perfect, the whole way.
Yeah.
And he's up to. Let's see what he was up to.
And I mean, 4 innings pitched, and he has 7 strikeouts.
Right.
I mean, he's a
strikeout machine. And 80 pitches, like. He probably could have gone one
I
more.
asked if he was pitching left-handed, though, because I'm seeing his 4-seam fastball going 98. I'm like, what is going on right now?
And that's what's going to happen if he has those multi-pitch, if he gets up into the 20s or 30 pitches in an inning, like you just can't bring 102
but then,
after 20 straight pitches. You need that rest back on the bench.
That's where he's been so great, right, is that he has other pitches in his arsenal. Yeah. So he can go to that slider, and then his changeup at 85 is it's not a normal changeup speed for a lot of guys.
At 96,
I know,
is just
it's just like, but whenever you're throwing 100-mile-an-hour gas, like your changeup at 80 feels like it's that thing is just creeping to the plate. So I think that's what this team, like these are the types of teams that are so special, where you can get down 3-0 to a great Chicago Cubs team. I mean, they're right there on the heels. Like they are a great team, in this season, and to be able to come back and get this win, a dominant win, like this to me,
they scored 8 runs,
is one of the best. Yeah, might be one of the best performances they had all year.
All we're doing is complaining about how bad the Brewers' offense is.
Exactly.
And do you need Suarez, or do you need to fix? And yes, I know Ortiz was 0 for 4 again, and Durbin, who's been really good, went 0 for 3. But they scored 8 runs.
Well, it's funny. I'm looking back on some of the chat and some of the messages into the station, and I'm guessing this was it must have been to us this a day ago.
Yeah, yesterday. This was yesterday.
It's the Cubs to sweep Brewers. We have no hitting.
Yeah, that's what 9-2 wrote that in yesterday. He literally wrote that in. Cubs to sweep Brewers. We have no hitting. Tommy, speaking of Misiorowski and how amazing that performance was, do we have a little? Christian Yelich was asked after the game about Miz's performance.
A lot. I told him. I was like, that was my favorite start that you've had so far in the big leagues. Honestly, all the, cruising and punchies and all that stuff is fun and exciting, but it shows you a lot about what he's made of out there. It's kind of hitting the fan on him. It can get away from you. Gave up 3 runs. Probably felt like he should have gave up none. He threw one to the backstop and then throws one away. You can get down on yourself big right there. He reached back for a 101. I knew it would be all right when he did that right after all that kind of happened. And that was awesome, dude. Come back in, settle down, and go back out there and put up 3 more scoreless innings. That's what it's about. That's how it's going to be sometimes in the big leagues. It's never going to be smooth sailing. It'll be messy sometimes, but you got to reach back and compete when that kind of stuff's happening. I'd love to see it from him. And I told him that's why that was my favorite start of this.
And how cool is that for a guy like Misiorowski?
Yeah.
To have Yelich say to you, like, that was you had what, 5 perfect innings?
Yeah.
Or 5 no-hit innings or whatever.
With how good his early starts were.
Exactly. But 4 innings, 3 runs, 2 earned, still 7 Ks, 2 walks. But the way you competed and the way you responded, I mean, what does that say about a young kid, Mason? When you come out, you start, like a young quarterback comes out, throws a couple picks in the first quarter, and then tears it up, and then has the mental strength to stay in it and compete the rest of the game.
Well, it says so much about Miz, but you got to touch on Yelich in this moment as well. Yeah. Like, just for intentionally going and making sure that Miz knows that he, thought this was his best start and that this is so important to learn from. Mm-hmm. Like, that is true leadership. Like Yelich, right there, that clip, him saying it to the media as well, not just, like it's one thing to say to Miz, but like put it out there and say like, I went to him, like I'm the leader of this team. Like I appreciate what he did. I love like whenever he's like, and then when he reached back and threw 101 after, giving up a few things, it's like that too. I mean, that just shows that Miz has the confidence and is backed by Yelich and by the core of this team, where it's just like, hey, I'm not going to go try to manage the rest of this, my outing here. Right. I'm just going to rip back and throw a 101 mile an hour fastball and just get back on track. And I know these guys will have my back.
And when Yelich says something like that, even though he says he means we.
Oh, for sure.
You know that the whole team has Miz's back, that the whole team is probably fired up by getting 10 last outs, by not letting that first inning define him, where, listen, you're a 23-year-old kid. Like, you could get in your head about that.
Sure.
And you could see in that first inning, he was a little in his head, right? But he settled down, and he stepped up, and all of his teammates have his back.
Yeah, because whenever he got out of that inning, somebody probably put their arm around him, or like, just kind of like went to him, and it's just like, we got this, no big deal. Like this team feels like that. I've been on, Packers teams like that, where it's just like you get hit in the mouth and you just kind of reset and you just go on to the next thing. And there are leaders that step into those spaces and speak into it, because it's the unspoken is good, like whenever you're just rolling and going, but sometimes you just need to say those little things. And Yelich clearly is in that space where he's just like, I'm going to speak this into existence. I'm going to just put this out there. And it's like, make sure that this team is going how I want it to go.
That's right. 414-677-1250. How exciting of a win was it for you as a Brewers fan last night? How great of a performance by Mizorowski, and the top of the order, Andrew Vaughn with another home run, Sal Frelick with a home run. It was just a lot of fun at AmFam Field. I've got a couple more Brewers news and notes to get to, and then we're going to switch things over to the Packers. Of course, Elton Jenkins, Nate Hobbs, Marshawn Lloyd discussion as we get into training camp stories with Mason, and a lot more to come on this edition of the Mason Crosby Show. It was a rough first inning for the Miz last night, but it was forgotten by the time the game was over and the Crew beat the Cubs. Game 2 tonight, Tommy Wirtz, another special 90-minute leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That's this afternoon at 5, right after Wisconsin Sports Daily. It's Tommy Wirtz and the leadoff show at 5 o'clock this afternoon on The Fan. You're listening to the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. This is the Elizabeth Crosby Show, brought to you. Well, I'm just kidding. It's the Mason Crosby Show.
It is Elizabeth's world, and we're just
right.
living in it for sure.
She got some munchkins this morning. I said, "Be careful, your dad's going to start calling you Munchkin."
Yeah.
That's a good nickname for the kids, right?
We call her. So Molly hates it, and I don't know. Molly, I'm sorry if you're listening, but yeah, we call her Biddy, like
Biddy?
little Biddy. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Because she's like a baby bird. I mean, she's just so tiny.
Yeah. But she's fierce.
She gets
after. I was going to say she gets after it. I saw her on the softball field running and taking some.
We don't have any bystanders in our family.
Everybody jumped right in.
They are all in it.
Well, Tommy and I talked about that. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Tommy and I talked about that. When the Crosby kids got involved Sunday, we knew that this wasn't a competitive this is gonna be fun. This is a game for fun.
Yeah.
And the Crosbys really need to win this one. Now, granted, you had the ringer, the dude who hit a grand slam and a homer.
Yeah, we had some good players.
Dude hit 2 home runs for 7 RBI.
Yeah.
And the game was 11-7. So
Seriously.
he was kind of the difference. But
I will say, and I am sure y'all hit on this yesterday, just making sure that we crowned this the Mason Crosby Show the best defensive softball players.
Yes.
I would put us up against any other sports show.
You doubted me.
I would as well.
In the state, right?
Yeah.
Right, but hey, Tommy, it's not about doubting you. It's about own your greatness.
I mean, how many outs did our crew have? Because y'all were pretty much the left side of that that defense for the Illinois team.
Right.
Yeah. Y'all were really solid. And then I think
the Kansas team.
I mean, I chased a few people down on the first baseline, which was fun.
So I didn't know. For you.
Do I tag him?
So you and Jordy pitched.
Yeah.
If you don't pitch, where do you want to, if you're playing in a celebrity game or whatever, where do you want to play?
Probably, short or third base.
Okay.
I'm fine making that throw.
So
because you saw me throw that. I was scoop it up. But honestly, as soon as I got up, I picked it and I almost just went to release it. I kind of took one more little bounce because I'm all right, I got to make sure I hit this thing.
You got to be careful about that.
I hadn't thrown, that throw in a long time and, luckily threw it out. But I always played third and shortstop.
So I would say if we ever play again and you don't have to pitch, either of us, you and I would take short and third or third and short, whichever, and Tommy's in left. Yeah. And anybody who hits the ball to the left side, it's an out.
Yeah. I play center as well. I felt like, and I love my guy Tim Mastay, but I felt like he gave he didn't give some effort on a couple little flare shots.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah. Fly balls that were in front of him, he let drop.
Yeah, I thought there were a couple that dropped in front of him.
That's a punter mentality. You don't really know what to do. All right,
he's a good baseball player. He knows what he's doing.
He did. It's the Mason Crosby Show. We are in the fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. The thing I wanted to, and we've literally talked about this since the first day of the show.
Yeah.
And I love throwing this question back to you because it's such a foreign concept to you as a football player.
Okay.
That it's that the second I ask it, you're going to know exactly where I'm going.
Okay.
The Brewers won yesterday 8-4.
Yep.
They come back from down 3-0 in the first inning against Chicago's ace. And the crazy thing from a football mentality is they go back at it today.
Yeah.
There's no week off. There's no rest and get ready for the next opponent. You go right back today. We've got Quinn Priester, who's been unbelievable since the beginning of June. He was 2-2. He's now 9-2. He's won his last.
That's insane.
The Brewers have won his last 9 starts. He has 7 of those decisions. He's got a 3.28 ERA. He's going against Colin Ray. Colin Ray pitched for the Brewers the past 3 years.
Colin Ray sounds like he could be a country singer.
He could be, absolutely. REA is his last name.
Okay.
Colin Ray. He's 8-4. His ERA is 4.06. So he's not as, and that's him. Colin Ray's just that guy for the past couple
just
years
solid.
for the Brewers could depend on every 5th day going out there and keeping you in the game.
Yeah.
So it's we had Boyd versus Miz. Tomorrow we've got Freddie versus Imanaga, another 2 aces going at it. And today it's kind of like the number 3 guys.
Yeah.
But it's no rest for the wicked. You're right back at it, Mason.
Well, I would say that the only comparison to during the football season to a baseball season is training camp. where you have kind of like everything being evaluated. It's like you're not playing games, but it's like you show up to those training camp practices and you need to kind of be on your game. You got to do your things right. There's guys competing for jobs, for spots. So like I would say training camp for the NFL is the closest thing to a baseball season that you're going to find in that day in, day out. You go 3 or 4 days in a row, then you have a day off. Like it's a very similar time of year from that football side. But yeah, I can't imagine just like, lacing them back up and you're going back out and, playing another game instantly.
And then tonight they play, and then they play tomorrow afternoon.
But a team like this Brewers team, how they're playing right now, you don't want days off. Like you want this thing to just keep rolling because again, you look at your starting pitchers. It's like you go from Miz, and it looked like it was going to just be a disaster yesterday, and then he rights the ship, and then this team just goes on a run, the rest of the game. And then you have Priester, who's going to be solid, and he's going to get the job done. Yep. It just depends on can our bats stay hot, Right. So then it's and then who's going? And then we got Peralta. Yeah, I mean it's like if I'm coming to play this Brewers team, you're just like, okay, let's try to get as much as out of those starting pitchers. Let's try to get some hits. Let's try to get some runs and get to their bullpen and wear them out. Like we're just trying to wear this pitching staff out because you look at those starting pitchers, if they're able to go 5-6 innings and like lean on these teams, teams just don't really have a shot against this Brewers team.
I think there's going to be some Brewers fans. I'm sure Tommy felt this. I know Mrs. Thunder felt this last night. Not happy that McGill had to come into the game. You're up 8-4. Craig Yoho, who's amazing in spring training, great at AAA, just can't really throw strikes. I don't know if he's scared to throw strikes. He's nibbling and nibbling and nibbling. Pat Murphy was can I say P-I-S-S-E-D?
He was not happy.
He was very angry when he had to come out and get Yoho. But then McGill comes in 3 pitches, 1, 2, 3, strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. It was kind of awesome.
That might be one of the worst things in baseball. I would imagine.
Out of the way and you get pulled
as you're a pitcher and you just see the manager walking out.
Mad.
I would just
And Murphy's like, he wears his emotions on his sleeve. You know where you stand.
Well, I think I've told you this
might
before.
Not pitch again for the team.
Like McCarthy, was kind of an emotional guy, and with the offense, and every time I had to kick a field goal, I felt like he was just so mad. And I'm like, early on too, I'm like, is he mad at me that I'm going out there? He's just like
it doesn't feel supportive.
Kick it. Oh gosh. I'm like,
okay. He was just mad at the offense.
And I'm just like, okay, no, just go get it done. I don't want him to yell. Like, let's get this thing done.
And a real quick news note for the Brewers before we switch over to the Packers. They do make a trade yesterday. They trade a prospect who was actually leading the organization in batting average in Appleton, right?
In hits.
In hits. For Danny Jansen. Danny Jansen is a 8-9 year veteran. Has played a couple years in the postseason. Longtime Toronto Blue Jay. The Blue Jays traded him to Boston last year for a little insurance for the Red Sox. He signed a 1-year, $8.5 million deal with Tampa this year. Okay. He's got a 1.8 WAR, which is pretty decent. He's got 11 home runs from the catcher position. And it's kind of his batting average isn't good, but his on base is actually really good for where his batting average is. It's kind of one of those things where it's like he's a veteran catcher. He knows what he's doing.
Sure.
We know Contreras' finger's broken, and so will this give him a little bit more rest?
You got to give him a little rest.
But Eric Haas was doing pretty well, and the question is what does Eric Haas mean in the clubhouse? Because they released Eric Haas.
Yeah.
And listen, Jansen is more of a veteran catcher.
Yeah.
Haas wasn't tearing it up this year. He wasn't playing poorly, but he wasn't tearing it up. And they felt that this makes the team a little bit better. Pat Murphy says he trusts the general manager to make the right moves.
Yeah.
I don't know that it moves the needle at all.
Yeah.
But it does bring in a veteran guy. Danny Jansen's actually from Appleton.
Okay.
So
that's nice.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So there might be a little spike in interest or in his energy level because he's playing near family.
I did not see catcher being being
that
a
was
move.
not. I don't think that was on most people's list.
No.
He is 30 years old. And he's, so
has he been involved in any good postseason runs?
Not really.
Okay.
He's played twice in 20 and in 22.
So not like
he played a couple games with the Blue Jays.
Experienced.
Hit well, in his 4 games in the postseason, he said well.
Yeah.
But he's going to back up Contreras. I think they feel a little bit more comfortable having that veteran back there than Haas, who's good and good in the clubhouse. Jansen's known as a good guy.
That's the thing. And I mean, I guess, having roots here in Wisconsin as well, he's going to fit into the culture of what's being done there. Yeah. So I don't look at it as anything but, just a positive addition to have a veteran come into the building. As long as he meshes and everything's good. It's just a little surprising. You never know what's kind of, underwriting there. Who knows what Haas's, what's his contract situation, whatever, where they're like, gosh, if we just stick with him, it's like the Packers, right? They're like, if we stick with a guy, we're going to have to make a decision after the season. Let's go ahead and let's just, all right, move on. He's not part of our future or something like that. So you never know what those things are, but, adding veteran pieces are always good. I was reading this thing. I didn't realize, obviously this was going on, but I see one of the Brewers, their hitting coach, Al LaBeouf, he had cancer and just got back. So good to have that. And whenever someone can come back from something, obviously a cancer surgery and be able to get back in the building.
Yeah. 65 years old. It's his 16th year in the Brewers organization. And he's worked with a lot of guys through the minors. He's worked with Frelick, he's worked with Terang, he's worked with Chorio.
His story, just kind of his approach is probably so fascinating.
They call him Buffy.
Oh, I love it.
LaBeouf.
I love that.
Yeah. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Not only did the Brewers win last night, it was absolutely fantastic. And, of course, Drew Wagner will be on at 3:20 this afternoon to talk about that with Sparky on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. But yesterday, finally, after 4 long, awful days of not wearing pads and that the players had to survive that, the Green Bay Packers put pads on yesterday. And as Andy Herman talked about in Pack-A-Day Radio, it's immediate. You see that speed and that strength and the sound of pads hitting. He said there were a couple of times where he'd be tweeting something that just happened, and all of a sudden it sounded like an explosion.
Yeah, I believe he said it sounds like a marshmallow being hit like a golf ball. That's what Andy Herman said.
I could actually, very similar. Yeah. Very similar.
Tommy is just crushing it today. I love it.
But that is the thing. I'll tell you this much. That first day of pads was always it was the day I worried the most about, about the guys. Because it was just
not yourself.
Well, not myself.
Nobody's hitting
pads, no pads. It's the same for me at practice. Definitely. Nobody.
What do you make of Nate Hobbs over the last couple days here?
Well, let's get to so tell us about your concerns, and then let's get specifically to Nate Hobbs.
Yeah. Well, that's where I was leading to. Thank you, Tommy. Yeah,
Transition Tommy.
Transition Tommy.
Yeah, Transition Tommy.
So many nicknames.
Tammy. Whatever.
Stop.
I love the show. Stop. You guys are the best.
Okay. So, I was always concerned, and I was watching some clips and stuff, and they were showing DBs tackling, which I don't know why they do that.
Right.
Who decided to film the DBs tackling? Because instantly right away you could see the ones that just are not tacklers. And it's
which is a thing.
Yeah, it's they don't go across. They're they kind of shoulder tackle. They use their athleticism to try to make plays, which in the course of a game is fine. But why do cross the bow tackling with defensive backs that don't tackle that way? It just doesn't make sense. No. So, but then you see some of the guys, and I don't know who it was, but obviously Nate Hobbs is a guy of question right now with how he is going. As soon as they put pads on, and he goes out there
even before pads
and takes a shot on Marshawn Lloyd.
Yes, exactly. And the question about, because on Friday,
was there a fight? Did anyone?
There was no. Zach Tom came over.
Okay.
Zach Tom came. So there were.
I can tell you this much: back in the day,
but if it happens again with Hobbs, there will absolutely be a fight. I think because he's new. I think because they're excited about the speed and physicality he is bringing. Because on Friday, there was a pass over the middle that he got to Wicks a little early and ran through Wicks.
Yeah, before
with no
pads. Yeah.
Right. And then this happens. And Andy was talking about how, Hobbs, maybe there was a block a little bit, so he like it's not like he came in like a missile going.
But he went
low.
for his legs.
But he went low.
Yeah, I mean you can't do that in practice.
Exactly.
Like seriously, and
So Zach Tom did come over,
but did he get did he have to leave the field? Hobbs had to
he didn't have to leave the field.
They didn't
but he got
take him
taken out for like 2 or 3 series, I think.
Okay. So
didn't Andy say for a couple series?
Yeah, and Andy also just tweeted out 4 minutes ago, the injury to Marshawn Lloyd was not related to the contact with Nate Hobbs. It was a non-contact injury prior to the contact per Brian Gutekunst, which I have he just wrapped up. We have that presser all ready to go whenever too.
Well, but if it's a non-contact injury, then he tore his ACL and he's out for the year.
That's what I'm saying.
If it's a bruise, that's the contact
you're running a play. You're not limping before the play. You get hit in the legs and you're limping and having to be taken off. Come on.
What are we doing here?
That's Goody protecting the guy that he signed to a big contract to come in and replace Jair Alexander. That's what's happening.
What gets said to the guy who goes too hard in training camp, especially early?
This one surprises me. Okay. Like a guy like this, like you're a veteran. Like what were they doing in Las Vegas?
It's a clown show.
That's what I always look at that. And I'm not like, whatever. I don't know Nate Hobbs, his whole story, but Las Vegas, like the Raiders are the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's like anyone that comes from the Raiders, you have to teach how to play, like how to be a good teammate and practice the right way. They must just be down there just doing idiotic things all the time. Just like full speed, tackling to the ground, doing it's ridiculous. Like this can't be happening. You see it every year, and it's usually some young guy that's trying to be the practice all-star. But for a veteran to do this, and
there's no need, right?
And seemingly like unapologetic about it, like it's just like I'm gonna just fly around and just like wreck, take skulls. Like that is not okay, and it needs to be like training camp it's on the verge right now, right? Like you put pads on, you have a little time, like. Here in about 3 days, like we should see a scuffle at some point.
Yeah.
If I don't see a scuffle, I have a little concern about the team. I'm just going to say it because I think that is a natural progression and somebody's got to lock somebody up. An O-lineman, they need to set the tempo and you just got to go grab them.
I like that.
And just say this is not going to happen.
Now, if Hobbs cleans things up, I think it's
a non-thing. Yeah.
Right.
If he takes another shot and something that just, accident, I'm all like accidents happen. You get tripped up, somebody hits you and you accidentally, go down or tackle somebody. Those things happen.
Yeah.
But if you're flying in and you're just, kind of going a little too hard into extremities, like legs of players, that's just something that you can't be doing.
From one injury to another injury, none of us cheer for injuries, right?
Oh, never.
You never cheer for an injury. So how closely are we going to be watching this situation in Baltimore, Maryland then? Ravens cornerback Jair Alexander missed practice Monday after having his knee drained following swelling. Gosh. John Harbaugh expects him to be back at practice tomorrow. Public service message, right? Public service announcement. Don't cheer for Jair Alexander to be hurt.
Never.
News like this is not going to surprise us because we know Jair has injury issues. He has a history. But let's not take joy in this. Let's observe it.
Yeah.
As Packers fans, we are going to be watching Jair Alexander and what he does on the field or not on the field. But I also think we are human enough. I know it's Tuesday, not Wednesday yet. But I hope we're human enough to not be cheering or happy when Jair Alexander's hurt. But I do think it does say, oh, that's why.
Yeah. Right? I mean, I think that's a fine perspective to just be okay, clearly he just cannot get over this injury bug. It's just, there's always something. I mean, it's early in camp. He's having his knee drained. Those are not positive things. But some guys have those types of things on a regular basis. And then they just keep kind of grinding through and playing. So, yeah, do not wish for Jair to be injured and miss games and do all that so that we feel better about our decision to move on. I think it's more of that where if it does happen, you can say you can applaud Goody. You can applaud them for saying all right, it's time to move on. I think it's best for everybody just to not have to go through this on a yearly basis.
414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. It's the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. Your thoughts from training camp. We haven't talked about Elton Jenkins yet. We got to talk about Elton. We got to talk about, what Goody talked about. And I know Matt LaFleur is about to talk in about 5 minutes. Maybe when we come back, we'll zoom up a little Matt LaFleur and we'll eavesdrop on Matt a little bit. What do you think about that?
Let's do it. Check him out.
Let's do that. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles. Tommy Wirtz is here as well. We are on the free Odyssey app. We're also on the free iHeart app. So listen to the Mason Crosby Show wherever you listen to any of your audio. Just search the Mason Crosby Show. You can listen to it live. You can listen to it on your time. But make sure you let us know how it's going at Crosby Kicks 2 on Twitter, at Thunder MKE as well. Or you can talk and text with us, 414-677-1250. That's the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. This is the Mason Crosby Show. Feel it coming back again, lockery. You don't like my singing? Did I ruin my camera? Aren't you? I wanted you on camera, Tommy. Nobody needs to see me. It is 80 degrees in Hales Corners. It is beautiful and sunny. Feels like 85, getting up to 89, low of 69. There's an air quality alert in place until noon today. Actually, noon till Thursday. So that's probably the Canadian wildfires.
Oh, is that going on right now? Yeah.
Whenever it's an air quality in the summer, that's what it is now.
It always seemed. I remember
Canada just like sneezing on us.
Yeah, exactly. They're just
And
blowing.
like they left the cloud.
Yeah, do they do it on purpose? Gosh.
I hope not.
I hope not too.
This is the Mason Crosby Show. We're presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We are going to listen to Matt LaFleur as soon as he starts his press conference. We'll eavesdrop a little bit there. But Elton Jenkins made news yesterday by showing up, by being ready for practice, off the PUP list, and by saying that, like, originally it was his idea to come to Matt and Brian and say, hey, maybe I could switch to center if that'll help the team out the most. It was Elton's idea to do that. I think he just wanted to feel the love from the team back, that they were going to take care of him for 26.
Yeah.
They do save $20 million off the cap if they don't bring him back.
So what changed? I wonder what changed there.
I think he just wanted to play. Well, let's get more into that, but Matt LaFleur is at the podium.
He's jumping? All
so
right.
let's jump right into Matt LaFleur.
It was early, but how was he looking?
He was doing great. It's just, you'd like to have him out there. He's a guy that needs that experience, and unfortunately has had to fight through a lot of adversity.
Marshawn Lloyd.
Man, wasn't the way Brian said it, wasn't necessarily the hit from Hobbs.
It's hard. I mean, you never really know, but it did look like he stuck his foot in the ground, and he never put it back in the ground when he had an opportunity to. So that would lead me to believe that it happened prior to the hit. But
that's not good.
That's not good.
Matt, can you take me through the process of...
He seems down about it. I don't like that.
A young wide receiver who is clearly making plays, Sam Brown Jr. I mean, this guy is seemingly making... yesterday he had that sky on the right sideline catch. Trying to make a play a day, trying to hopefully get noticed, maybe get some more opportunities. Does that happen through the staff? Is that where, like, say you ask, or maybe you notice it on film, or you ask the guys like Jason and those guys, like, what's he like? Because I know you can't watch every single second of every single practice, so.
what are you talking about? That's my job.
Yeah, you
I
can't.
absolutely
What
watch
kind of question is
every
that?
During it live.
play. Yeah, I mean, but that's the beauty of having the film is you always go back and you review everything, and so collectively as a staff, you're making those decisions, and it's important for young players when given opportunities
Who
to
asked
go out
that
there and
question?
make plays.
I don't know. Mason's mad.
For a lot of these
Oh,
young guys,
those
it's
questions
the
are the
level of
worst.
consistency, because you guys love to blow up all the splash plays, but you don't see all the things in between those. And so there's moments where it's just
Salty
and I'm
today.
not talking about Sam in particular, I'm talking about all these guys, is it's hard for you guys, which it would be for me if I was standing on the sidelines, to see when these guys, maybe they make a mistake, maybe they run a wrong route. So there is some of that's going on, and that's probably
I got an interesting
most
story
of the guys, I
on
should
this
say
kind
most
of
of the guys,
stuff.
but a lot of the guys, there's some inconsistencies. So the more consistent you can perform, and then when given those opportunities to make those plays, then everybody takes notice.
And then the question is, how is that communicated to you? Like, does Jason say, I think he's ready for more opportunities, like with the two?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's part of, we meet as a staff. I don't like to go through our roster every night because I think then some emotional decisions get made, as opposed to you'd like a little bit more evidence, a larger body of work. And so especially trying to get through the padded days, because you will see some real football today.
Back to the running back position, Chris Brooks over the last year, Wilson over the last two. Just what kind of growth have you seen from each of them?
Yeah, both those guys are doing a great job, and again, it's just the consistency at which you can go out there and perform your job. Certainly, they're versatile backs. Both those guys have been able to play in a little bit of our two-back package. So the more you can do, the better your chances of getting more opportunities. And I think both those guys have really handled that, playing not only the halfback position, but what we call the F, which is kind of our movable piece. And depending on what personnel, we're like when we're in 11, it's usually Jaden Reed. When we're in 12, it could be any number of the tight ends, but Musgrave assumes that quite a bit. And then when we do our 21H, then it's either Brooks or Emmanuel.
Mason's like, he's speaking my language, and I'm like, I have no idea. What he's
You have
talking
no
about.
clue what's going on.
Does that mean some of the young guys
It's exactly what you think it means, Pete. Are you excited?
Look at
fired up?
Okay, I know, I can feel it. A lot of juice over there.
I'm sure you had hopes for Bo Melton when you made this transition with him, but is he maybe exceeded that to some extent? Because I mean, again, we see the splash plays.
Our boy Bo.
He's given up a lot of those.
Number 16.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. And I think when you watch him through the course of drills, the skill set is there. It's just getting the adequate number of reps to go and get comfortable out there, I would say, in a very, very difficult position to play. So I'm really pleased with how he's, not only how he's approached it, but how he has gone out there and executed.
How close is Quay Walker to do a team?
He's getting there.
Back to Bo, I mean, he's competing in a position group.
I mean,
where
these press
corners
conferences are just
He's
like,
going against receivers who've done it for a decade.
That gives you nothing.
especially whenever it's an injury question. It's like, why even ask that question?
Yeah, I think
know
so.
they're never
I just
gonna
think that speaks to the level of competitor that he is. He's not a guy that's going to shy away from tough challenges. So that's why we
So
decided
tan, by
to
the
do
way.
what we
What's
did.
that?
and
LaFleur is so
certainly
bronzed.
it doesn't
Yeah, oh, he's
eliminate
so
him from
tan
the
right
offensive
now.
side of the ball.
He's
We
wearing a
just thought
white
the best
short-sleeve
way to
hoodie.
Yeah.
give him a
And so
real
it's like he
chance
looked even
is
tan.
Super
immerse
tan.
him in the defensive stuff, and then let's just see how he handles it and how he's done. And he's done a great job. So, it's we'll have some interesting conversations moving forward.
How much you value big blocking wide receivers on the outside? Do you feel it's going
Andy
to be
Herman.
difficult to get Golden and Reed maybe
Nice,
on the
Andy.
field at the same time?
No, because I think both those guys are feisty little competitors. They're not even little, but
Little
like,
competitors. Come on, Matt.
They're just
They're
they're
5'11".
scrappy
You
dudes.
can't call someone a
He had
little
a
competitor.
transportation play
He
the
corrected
other day,
himself.
and I mean, Jay Reed blocked Van Ness, and it was a hell of a block. And
Lit him up.
What does
or
that sound
maybe
Yeah.
it was
Well,
off
Yeah,
booth,
thanks for
but,
showing up, bro.
had a great block on Van Ness, so he'll do whatever it takes as well.
Can we see J.D. Reed more than at outside wide receiver this year? I know a lot of the times he's just been kind of more of a slot, or maybe even just in two wide receiver sets.
I think absolutely that could be the case. It's solely dependent upon what we're asking these guys to do and who's available.
Matt McManus was 50 of 51 last year in the regular season on all his kicks. But what you think across the board?
Jinx this.
Yeah, it's a miss this year. I haven't jinxed you. What you think across the board though with special teams? Are they where you need them to be or no?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of great moments. Certainly, I think it sticks out in everybody's mind. Like you can't have, you talk about the Philly situation. A guy fumbles the ball on a kickoff return. We can't have those big plays that tilt the field in the opposition's favor. And then Chicago obviously gave up a big one. So there's been moments where we absolutely have to be better, no question about it. But I do think our guys have consistently gone out there and competed, and I don't think we're giving an advantage to the opposition more times than not.
How
From what you saw from Keyshawn, you
LaFleur,
guys
how little he cares
full-time
or
moved
wants to
outside
know about
last
special
year.
teams.
Do you think he can?
He wants it to take
lock
care of
down
itself,
other teams'
right?
best receivers?
That's why I was a Versace.
Yeah,
there.
I
It's like,
I love how he
take
competes.
it. You do it. Who did he
And
say?
as a corner, you're going to give up some plays. Matter of fact, I mean, Golden had one on him yesterday where it was two guys competing, and showed that in the team meeting. And Jordan threw a great ball, and Golden did a great job of making an aggressive hands catch. But Key was right there in position the whole time. So I guess my answer to you is absolutely. I got a lot of confidence in Keyshawn, and I think it all starts with the mindset to go out there and he will compete.
Matt LaFleur is talking to the media right now, and practice starts at 10:30. I know, Mason, you want to talk a little bit about, they asked, with this kid, Sam Brown Jr., who's making plays all over the place.
Yeah.
But, nobody's really watching when he has to block and stuff like that. How important is it when these young guys are they make a splash play, but are they, what are they doing down after down after down after down?
Yeah, and that's Jordy Nelson was at the softball game, and then you played golf with him yesterday, and his take was what I was going to talk about. That was so interesting. He's at practice last Friday, and he's on the sideline. I'm like, how did it look? What'd you see? And he was just like, I don't know. I don't know what plays they're running. I don't know what, and the guys, played in the NFL, and it's one of the best to ever do it. But he's like, you can't tell what's going on the sideline. Yeah, you see a guy make a catch. Right. You see something happen. You see a defender do something, and it's that's cool, but you don't actually know all the stuff. And Jordy is extreme on that side of things. Yep. But I will say, and I think that's what LaFleur referenced to. It's y'all, the media standing on the sideline, right. Something catches their attention, they see this thing happen, and then it's oh my gosh, that was amazing, or oh, that was awful, the guy fell or got beat or whatever, and it's but did you watch it, the course of the whole practice? Yeah. And have you broken, you're not getting to break down the film and do all of those things. So I do think, again, how LaFleur speaks to it, how they do their diligence watching the film, dialing in. They don't you don't need jerk during practice. Right. Because you got to dive into the depth of the film. Guys are allowed to make mistakes in practice, but if you do the same thing and make the same mistakes over, that's when you get cut. But if one guy makes a mistake, he moves on, they can tell he learns from it, those things are going to happen because that's why you practice.
In the 10 o'clock hour today, we're going to talk a little bit about Jeff Hafley. I also have a big picture roster question to ask you, Mason.
Yeah.
Just about the concept of when you're putting a team together, so we'll get to that. We've got a little more baseball to get to. Remember, it is the leadoff show today at 5 o'clock with Tommy Wirtz. Game 2 of the 3-game set against the Cubs. The Miz, a forgettable first inning, and then a dominant second, third, and fourth as he rebounded well in the Brewers' 8-4 win last night. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sports Book. Brewers win game 1 of a 3-game set against the Cubs. Day 2 of training camp with pads is underway today. And Mason, I had a training camp question for you.
Okay.
And I don't know how, we've talked a lot about how football's gone from 3-a-days to 2-a-days to the Oklahoma drill to no drills to whatever, But my question is, with that, and is this, I don't know if this is coincidental as part of that or if it's totally separate. Matt LaFleur was asked about like some of these young guys and they step up and have a show me play and like what are they doing play by play and he has to watch the film and all that sort of stuff. I don't get the feeling there's that many jobs open.
Yeah.
Like I think,
it's harder to make a roster.
Right. I think if we named the 53 or the 45 right now, there's 3 or 4 guys at the end of the roster that are like in the mix that could go either way. But like it is when you started, were there more positions up for grabs, whether it's starters to backup guys or guys to make the roster? Or has it kind of always been that way? We just notice it more because we have 47 reporters at every practice tweeting everything.
There might have been, just because it's just like all these sports, right? You have to feel confident and comfortable with a player to give them that opportunity. Yeah. And if you're not getting as many looks, if like you just don't have as many reps, like a GM or coach, they're not going to feel comfortable with a guy until they've seen him, thousands of times, doing it over and over again. So I think it is harder sometimes for some of these rookies that aren't drafted high and all of that to jump into rosters. But at the same time, I remember having conversations with Aaron like every year, and he'd get really he's just like, why do we need 90 guys on this team? Like, and it's like, why risk having all these guys get hurt? Like, just, okay, once we get into training camp, run it like a regular season, like just run it like it is now. I mean, it's not real. Like, this isn't training camp of like, even when I started. I mean, we were going 2-a-days still. Yeah. until the 2011 CBA. We were still going 2-a-days. And it was tough, and it was a grind. And like I asked that, I think, to you before the show as well. I'm like, do they like it more how training camp is now, where it's almost more, it honestly feels more fun and approachable. Right. Whereas like training camps of old were like, it was just a grind. Players weren't happy. Yeah. Players didn't have energy to do anything else. Like it was, I mean, I'm seeing these players doing like that, the aura, like the thing where the guy's on the front of the boat. Right. At training camp. I'm like, are you kidding me? You have energy to do that right now? Like, that is insane. I mean, that makes me sound like that old guy. I mean, I went through all the different phases. I mean, training camp by the end of my career was just like normal. Yeah, it was just normal stuff.
So I think, and I'll speak for me because I don't like speaking for all the fans. I'm guessing there are hardcore fans who want to see 2-a-days, who want to see
they just want more ball.
Who want more ball. But I'm also guessing there's a lot of fans who like now where it's like you can focus more on the big plays. Yeah. On the like the scrimmaging almost. Like those 2-minute, like to me, I can watch 2-minute drills all day. Yeah. Because 2-minute drills are filled with energy. Yeah. It's like action. Yep. And that's the biggest thing we don't like about football. Like we like everything about football. What we don't like is that it's 3 hours to play 60 minutes of action.
Yeah. We like the situations.
Right. So when you set up situations, it's action. I think that's more fun. Yeah. Like I want to, and also frankly, I want to, like, it's great that Sam Brown Jr. is doing well. Yeah. Like, and we wish him luck in his future endeavors. But I want to see Matthew Golden. Yeah. I want to see Reed Wicks and Dobbs. Yeah. I want to see, what the running back room looks like. I want to see if Nate Hobbs can hang with those wide receivers or if Quay and Edrin can hang with the tight ends. Yeah. And so I'm more into situational, fun, as realistic as you can make it to real football. But I have a,
Well, let me just hit on that real quick because with how much offseason, the OTAs and all the work that goes into there, you realize that just like when you're in that build, like they just restart that process once training camp. So you're just doubling it up. Yeah. So like it really, you need the bodies mainly because like the training camp is too long. Yes. With these preseason games, all of that. Like, what do you need? You probably need 2 weeks to get ready for the season. Like 2 actual, like, non-game weeks where it's like, all right, we're getting all this stuff in. You don't need 90 guys on a roster. You don't need all that, but you have 85, 90 guys on that initial roster so you can fill practices, so you can have preseason games. So the money is right and all of that, because if you expected Matthew Golden and Wicks and like all these guys to play for this 4-week period, and they're the only guys running that, they literally won't be able to make it past like week 4 of the season, and they would just be they would just be cash.
That makes sense. But I will say, like, all right, so I've never done this in real life.
Okay,
but I've definitely thought this. Tommy, I wonder if you've thought this too. You're driving, and at some point there's like a BMW or like a Mercedes, like a nice car. They're weaving in and out of a lane, or they're speeding up on you on the highway. And you think to yourself, like, if I let them nick me, like, I'm going to get paid. Okay? And I've never let it happen. But there are definitely people out there who look for that to happen.
Really?
Who look to get rear-ended, who try for insurance fraud, all those sorts of things. And it's not dissimilar from
a little like trap, like someone pulls up and it's like a working and like short stops.
Yes, yeah. If I'm number 88 on a 90-man roster and I'm not going to make it, part of me, I don't want to get catastrophically injured. But if I get banged up to the point, if I break something that's going to rehab, that's going to heal, but it means I get paid by the team or the league or however those injury settlements work, like, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
If I'm number 88 and I'm not going to make the team, and I'm not going to make another team, and maybe I'll be on a practice squad.
Yeah.
But maybe I won't. Like, don't I kind of want to get hurt? I mean, not really.
That is like, that's what I'm talking about. That's the concern.
But if I get hurt, I'm more willing to take the payout than fight through it.
For
if I know
like
I'm not making the team anyway.
A player like that does not have the mindset to be in the NFL.
But there are literally, I will say there's players, there's probably a few guys every year that you're just like,
they don't have
why
mindset,
are they here?
Yeah.
You know, like, why are they in this building? They're in the training room all the time, or they're doing whatever. And I will say, I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong, but I don't think those guys get MRIs done a lot, because like I think they're just like, you know, if we don't image it, you know, we can kind of we're treating it, but you know, we're not gonna have like a definitive answer there. Which that's like protecting the organization side, but ultimately at the end of the day, guys that had no business, they were never going to make a roster, get paid out every year, where they'll settle them as they release them because they're injured.
And probably a couple $100,000?
Yeah, they make a couple $100,000.
That's a lot of money to somebody who has to go work a $50,000 a year job otherwise.
Yeah, and I will say, prior to, maybe 20 years ago, it was like, I got like, it maybe from the organization standpoint where they would say like, this is, the business is kind of interesting, where it's like we have to pay these players that are never going to play for us.
Yeah.
Now, whenever you see the Packers getting $430 million, just in a revenue share, you're not like, all right, like these guys are practicing, they're laying it on the line, they're trying to make a roster. Yeah. Some of them just don't. They're basically a body there, just filling time. But I will say also, from my early days and doing two-a-days to like what it is now, the product on the field is a lot better.
Yeah.
Like it is just, you think so? Like, and I think that's like the beauty of it. They've actually finally looked at science of training, like what guys' bodies can actually withstand, not just the GPS and all the stuff.
Right. I feel like you mentioned that a couple months ago, where like they had the science, but teams weren't ready to believe it.
They weren't ready to do it.
Right?
Yeah, they're
and
still.
Now they are.
And now you've seen this like transition of coaches, right? Now, like a lot of the coaches in the NFL are more new age mindset, and they're going to lean into those training sciences, because when they step on the field, they want those guys, they want everyone to go as hard as they can and get the best out of every practice.
Yeah.
So whenever you go to training camp now, you are seeing like probably a better product during training camp. Whenever we're in two-a-days, that second practice of the day, 2 weeks into camp, I mean, guys are just like slow, they're slower. You're running the ball more because it's just like you can't run these receivers anymore, or you're not seeing Jordy and Drive and Jennings when like the early days, because they're just like, I can't run another go route. I'm gonna die.
414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. It's the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line. Your thoughts on training camp. I do want to make it clear that, like, I'm not suggesting somebody go get hurt. Like, I'm not being
No.
soft. I'm not being mentally soft. But every year in every training camp, there are a handful of guys who get the injury buyout. And
yeah, they get released injured.
Right. And most of them probably are making the team anyway. So, like, they're at the end of the day, like, if it's not a catastrophic injury, they might be better off than the guy who just gets released.
Yeah, no
right?
doubt.
Because they get that payout. And, like, no one's looking to get hurt.
Yeah.
No one's looking to not make the team. But reality is what it is. You have 90 guys for 53 spots.
But a lot of the time,
37 guys who don't even have a shot.
At the end of the day, that guy, those guys that might happen, they're going to get that one, that one payout,
right?
And then every other
it.
team knows, and they're like, all right, like this, like you're going to be very cautious bringing someone like that into your building whenever they settled on some injury thing after camp.
No doubt. We are 2 days away from the Major League Baseball trade deadline. And Thursday is going to be a fun day here, both for the Mason Crosby show, which will be Mason and Tommy.
Yep.
And it'll be my first day at
Mitch
the fair.
on site.
I feel like we should start promoting that. That I'm going to be at the fair from 11 to 2.
Yep.
Sparky's going to be at the fair from 2 to 5.
Yep.
So very excited about that. Tommy, can you record a promo for me?
For your show.
Yeah. Just be like,
I will
and
not
for
be
Sparky,
on the
just
first 4 episodes of your show.
No, but you should just be like,
aware.
hey, everybody, this is Tommy. Thunder and Sparky are going to be at the fair because Mitch is going to eat everything and get fat. Like, I think
State Fair Thunder.
State Fair Thunder. It's like, what percent am I going to talk sports and what percent am I going to talk food during my 3-hour show every
That
day?
is a good question.
Will food be in your mouth when you're talking just in general?
As long as Sparky's not there yet, there will be food
If
in my
they
mouth.
just keep bringing it.
Because Sparky's like a stickler. Sparky's like, you don't eat while you're on the air, you don't drink while you're on the air, you don't do that, And I'm like, no, there are no rules.
No rules.
There's never been rules for me.
So what? Yeah, I'm going to be curious. What your favorite State Fair item is? Like what's your favorite? What's your favorite food there? I mean, funnel cake's my go-to. I mean, you find a good funnel cake. I don't like it when they've started adding flavor. Like I don't want a syrup on there. Like just give me a straight funnel cake.
I love the
powdered
straight funnel
sugar
with the powdered sugar. I don't mind like a little chocolate drizzle, just a little.
Okay,
don't overdo
chocolate
it. Don't make it soggy.
Yeah.
Because if there's too much, it's soggy. But
okay,
just
and
a little
so
drizzle.
we're going to talk some baseball, here in a sec. I do, we have some stuff about the defense, and I know that's been like a defense has been dominating in training camp, and I'm not going to dive in it too much. I'll kind of tease it right now, but we'll jump into that, and I'll get some insight into that and how that's always. I mean, that's kind of always how it works.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, and everybody wants to be like, oh, defense is looking great. I always remember those back and forth. And like, honestly, those are some fun parts about training camp, where it's like defense comes out hot and they're talking trash.
Oh yeah.
And the offense is just building something and plotting along. And then you see those days where it turns and then like all the floodgates open with, everybody just lipping for the next few days. So those are the fun parts about training camp for sure.
No doubt. Remember, if you've missed any part of any of our shows today, yesterday, whenever, you can always listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search up The Mason Crosby Show on your favorite app. Hit the follow button. That's key. Make sure you hit the follow button. By the way, go to our YouTube page and hit the follow button there too. At The Fan Milwaukee. We are live on YouTube right now. You can always be asking questions and commenting there on our YouTube page, but go to @TheFanMilwaukee. You got to have the @ sign there and follow us on YouTube because that is blowing up, no doubt about it. But if you want to hear anything we're doing here, The Mason Crosby Show, everywhere you listen to everything, every hour, every highlight, whenever and wherever works for you. This is The Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. This is the Mason Crosby Show. You're listening to The Fan, 1250 AM, 105.7 FM. We're also on the Odyssey app. We're on the iHeart app. Wherever you listen, that's where we are. Mason's singing along. I love it. Oh, you got close-up again, Mason. You got a good close-up going.
Well, I needed it for that.
Yeah, you did.
What's this life for?
Let's go. Let's hear it. Let's
bring
hear
it back. Oh, what are we doing?
Brewers and Cubs game 2 this evening, 6:40. Quinn Priester against Colin Ray. Leadoff show at 5 o'clock with Tommy Wirtz. He'll pick up right after Sparky and Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, which will be here 2 to 5 today. Remember, it is absolutely beautiful out today. It is 81 degrees in Hales Corners, getting up to 89. And then after today, it cools off a little bit. So, the next few days, tomorrow, high of 72, Thursday, 74, Friday, 75. Tomorrow, rain in the forecast. And all I got to say about that is thank goodness to George Petak and to the smart people who approved the dome and at Miller Park and now AmFam Field.
Exactly.
That we can play a 110 day game. It'll probably be pretty humid if it's raining during a day game.
Yeah, that'll be nasty.
But the fact that we don't have to worry about rain delays or rainouts or anything like that just makes everything so much better in Milwaukee.
Okay, I'm big and high. I'm high on this Brewers team, and
Yes,
I'm high on baseball right now.
Best record in baseball.
But the fact that you can get rained out just blows my mind. Like I still that blows my mind. Some of the stuff I've played in, and it's like you can get rained out of a game. I didn't know that was, it's like, I know that's a thing. Like I played baseball as well and we got rained out of games, but I'm just like,
what about lightning out? Do you what do you feel about
well,
that?
Yeah, I'm not, lightning out. Like we've had delays and things like that.
There was a family night a few years ago, wasn't there?
Actually,
there was crazy lightning.
I prayed for storms on family night.
Well, family night is like,
it was like, just get us to
it's this Saturday night, right?
Yeah, get us to 9 o'clock. Yeah. Have this thing where the practice gets canceled, but then it clears up and you can have the laser fireworks show because that was amazing.
Right, of course.
Yeah, they crushed it with that.
Does every player feel that way about family night?
Everyone, but maybe some of the young guys, because you get to, especially someone that maybe is not, one of the guys we were talking about that's not going to make the team.
Right.
This probably might be one of their few chances to play in Lambeau Field and get in front of it's impressive. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the fact that sellout crowd coming to family night and the fact that they give, their $10 tickets, they're probably higher now. What are they? $15, $20 inflation, whatever
I thought
number
it was
is.
still $10.
I love it. See, I do love that. I love the kids and all the stuff. I did not like family night practices, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's
okay. It is cool. It is a cool experience, and everyone's gonna have so much fun going to that this week.
Yeah, and it's televised now, so you can watch it.
It is, yeah.
Yep.
It's a great time, but a glorified practice in Lambeau Field is not the easiest thing for a specialist to go out there and have success.
That's fair. We were wondering, we were toying around this question. Tommy and I actually talked about it a little bit yesterday, but we wanted to get your take and we wanted to keep the conversation going. The Green Bay Packers defense, for years, we've been told, this is the year they get tough. This is the year they do what we've, look at all the talent. And like year after year after year, just like, I feel like the defense has let us down. Since the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
like that. Like we've seen flashes.
Yeah.
We've had some years of really good defense.
14, we were really good.
Yeah. There were so exactly. Yeah, Julius, changed things a little bit.
That squad was special.
But then especially like the last few years, the last couple of Aaron's MVP years.
Yeah,
it's like, man, he's always fighting against that defense, giving up something, and he has to do it again and again and again. And I'm sure if you asked him, and he was honest, he'd be like, yeah, it vexed me a little bit what the defense looked like. Well, so we bring in Jeff Hafley last year, and Hafley was the head coach at Boston College.
And do you think it was coaching or player? Like, what side of it, would you say was, deficient in that?
Oh, over the past,
whenever.
I think it was coaching. At the end of the day, the players have to get it done.
Yeah.
And that's we make a big deal out about that in basketball, in the NBA, like coaching, whatever. Like if your players aren't getting it done, it doesn't matter.
For sure.
It's true in football too, but I know so much less about football than any other sport that the concept of schemes and putting your players in positions to succeed, I think are bigger deals than other sports.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I do think a lot more of it goes to coaching.
Well, I talked about
football.
that, the NFC Championship, right, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that last touchdown, the touchdown right before half.
Kevin King,
where Kevin King, Scotty Miller.
And
where it was like Pettin is wanting to just play like a safe defense. If they want to throw an out route, get a few more yards and kick a field goal, who cares?
Right.
Like it's
don't give up a big
it's
play.
still January in Green Bay, and it's still going to be a 40, 5+ yard field goal if they get 5 yards. And but LaFleur overrode him, and like they went into a press coverage, which makes no sense in that situation.
Correct.
And Kevin King, unfortunately, was just, I mean, he just didn't have the, he didn't have the wheels, and he didn't have the coverage to get it done. I will say in that game as well, and I don't want to ever look at refs as, they let so much go in that game, and then the pass interference they call on Kevin King at the end of the game was a joke.
Yep.
I've seen that from every angle many times. If anything, it's like legs just get tangled up.
Right.
But it just, it stinks because it's Kevin King and all the stuff that, kind of came with that. But, I think sometimes it is like the over coaching can be a big issue. And I do think Hafley, from what I saw of him last year and all of that, he puts guys in position to go out and make plays and be successful. All right, what do you do great? I mean, rushing, the stuff we talked about with Quay. Just getting him in positions to not be in a spot where he doesn't feel like he's not his best self.
Right.
Rush the passer, get on the edges. Yeah. Whenever he's just an anchor, just in the middle of the field, he makes some poor decisions because he's going to fill in the wrong spot or be over athletic, try to think he can get behind a guy and make a play, and it just doesn't always work out.
Yep.
So I do think Hafley seems to be a guy that is willing to adjust. He's going to put guys to, in position to be successful. And then we have to say, LaFleur has learned a lot over his time.
Right.
And he's all right.
He's matured as a head coach.
He's matured to say, I cannot, I've these guys are, who I want. I've hired these coaches. These are my guys. Let them, cut them loose, let them do their thing. And I'm not going to micromanage these situations.
Yeah. And so you would say, this is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Hackers. You would say that after 1 year, looking forward to year two, Hafley's been the right fit. It is.
I mean, you can't deny what they were last year.
Right.
They were a top 5 defense. So I think, what do you have confidence they can be better than that? I don't know. I do think there are a few, pieces that need to get better, where you need to be able to rush the passer more effectively with 4 guys, with the front 4, because I think traditionally that's how his defenses are built, right? I don't think he wants to do all this exotic blitzing. He's not like a Flores over there in Minnesota that's just going to show you so many different looks and bring rush and different things from every possible situation. So I think he wants to kind of keep his traditional defense intact. But as far as personnel goes, I mean, this team should be as good or better than they were last year. I mean, you just have, I think the one question mark is the other outside guy, the other side of Rashawn Gary,
right?
Who is there? You also lost, a good D tackle.
Trey Hendrickson. Just do it. Just do it already.
I heard the deal is done there in
really?
Cincy.
Okay.
But they're fighting over guaranteed money. I think parameter numbers are there,
Brian,
but it's just guaranteed.
Brian, swoop in, baby.
I know, swipe.
Let's go.
Jump in there. Yeah. At this point, what's that going to look like? There's no deal getting done there.
I know. I just want it. All right, so we're talking about Jeff Hafley. We're talking about the defense. But Matt LaFleur talked about it, and we made a comment while we were listening to Matt LaFleur's press conference about kind of how much he doesn't want to talk about special teams.
Yeah.
And so I want to ask you about special teams, because it does seem like early in camp, day 5, whatever it is, more starters are showing up on special teams.
Yeah.
Is that a training camp thing, or do you think that here and there some of those guys could be used just to shore things up, make things better? Because we've, again, kind of like the defense, we've been promised a better defense for years.
Special teams has always been
right.
It's especially like someone gets
shaky.
hurt,
Right.
and it's like then our coverage and our return units just they take the hit. Like it's like okay, this guy is a special teamer. Now he's asked to play more on offense and defense, and now whoever we brought up off the practice squad or signed fills in on special teams, and you lose this productive guy that you had. And special teams, there are pieces of that camaraderie and that comfort. I mean, think about you're running 50 plus yards down the field to cover a kick. And you need to know that like I have my lane and I can trust that my buddy, my teammate is right there next to me.
Absolutely.
And if all of a sudden you were running next to the same guy for 5 games and then he's not there anymore and you have this new person that maybe got 10 reps during practice and you're just like, now you're kind of like making sure. And like you just have, and you try to do something else. Right. All of a sudden, there's a gap, and then like some bad things happen.
You can't do that.
It just is hard. Yeah, it is one of the hardest things to do in football because it's structure at the beginning, and then it's just like your open field ball players. So you have to have great football players. You have to have guys that want to do it and are willing to do it and do it at a fast pace. So I think traditionally, you always hope, okay, you're going to have a few starters, and you will. Like your corners will be on punt return, and they're going to be out there. But you always start training camp with these high hopes. Like, oh, gosh, we got eager guys that are playing. And then one guy gets a little dinged up, and it's like, he'll never be on special teams again. And that I will say that is more traditionally from my experience, like just watching across the league, it's offensive-minded coaches are usually less willing to put their put players on special teams, put starters.
Okay. Yep.
Defensive-minded coaches. I mean, and you looked at like a Pete Carroll's like teams.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a ton of starters. I mean,
it's a difference in
their
mentality.
Their defense was. I mean, you had Sherman, you had Wagner, you had all those guys.
Yeah. Earl Thomas
was on the punt return team. He was covering kicks.
Man, I liked Earl Thomas.
Yeah, Chancellor.
Cam Chancellor.
Oh gosh, what a big.
Okay. That guy hit hard.
I mean, they covered on their kickoff team, and would just destroy people.
Yeah,
and like so that stuff. I mean, that wears on you. Like it wears on you if you're on the other side of it and you see their starters.
If you've got the bottom 10 on your roster playing special teams
versus their top, they have 5 other starters running down. It's like, ooh, there's a difference there, folks. I mean, like whenever you think about a starter in the NFL and like kind of the bottom end of the the roster.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason those guys start. They are special athletes. So, I do think I think there is like there's a little fear of Bisaccia up there.
Okay.
I think it's like he's willing to go to war.
Like
he's willing
to say no to him.
Yeah, like he's willing to go to war.
He wants you on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, and he will go.
That's
and
good.
like intentionally, he'll just be like I need you, and like he'll kind of invest in that relationship and those guys where it's like if you can just give me a few plays a game or whatever, if we need you on special teams, are you willing to step up? And I will give him that, like he's great in that space.
Yeah.
Of just like, all right, I need you, like I'm gonna step in relationally first before it's like now I'm this like coach, like and kind of in this power position. So
that makes sense. We'll keep our eyes on the special teams, how that develops. Obviously, all eyes on Jeff Halfley.
The punter and kicker are, seem to be solid. It's like Waylon and McManus are having great camps.
Hasn't missed a kick yet.
Yeah, and that's
Which is what you want in July.
That's what you need now.
Yeah, that's really what you need in July. It's really important.
Yeah.
But no, like and I
had a couple guys that I competed in camp against, and they didn't miss for like a month, and then
did that ever? Like, did you ever have nerves about that, or were
no? Because then at the end of camp, I mean,
you were the guy under contract.
Yeah, well, and then at the end of camp, like if there was ever like a kind of a question, like so 2013, was that way.
Yeah,
I'm going against Sam Ficken, and it's like he had an exceptional camp. I had a bad family night. It was like, but I was solid for the most part, and then it was like towards the end of camp, I just ramp it up. And like all of a sudden,
and did you
the last week of camp, I like
mentally or physically or like
both.
What does that
it's
mean?
like I'm just like ready to like it's like I have a progression to get to the season.
And he was all in from day one.
And it was like there
was nowhere for
he
him
had
to go.
trained to get to that point just to get into camp.
Okay.
And some of these young guys, that's how they operate.
Yeah.
They've literally been kicking to get those chances. And then it's like, all right, by the end of camp, it's like you're either worn out, like you just can't sustain, and like a veteran mindset. Like McMahon, I'm not saying that because he's kicking well right now, he's not going to kick well. Like the goal is to never miss a kick.
Of course.
But it's like you build it up, and they'll probably ramp him up where it's like I don't know what, kicks he's kicking and
He's
how
kicked a
many.
bunch of like 40, mid 40s.
And that's where Bisaccia kind of lives in that 40 to 50 yard range.
Yep.
And then
I think 56 was
and
the
then it'll
longest.
ramp it up, as camp goes on.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. The Nick Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. If you want to chime in on Packers training camp, things you are keeping an eye on, questions you have about different groups. You know what's funny about hosting a radio show, Mason? We used to go so big, like 10, 15 years ago, with giving our email address out. And it's like, no one even like...
No one emails?
Well, just like everybody texts now. So it's like, why text and send the email? If you want to send us an email, shoot us a text and say, I want your email address.
Your email.
And I'll give you... I mean, mine's just mitchell.nellis@odyssey.com. I probably should ask them to create like...
Wait, do you want to give your email?
Yeah, so that people used to email in questions and email in their thoughts. Like, because people would be listening...
I'm not giving my email out.
Because people would be listening from their computer...
Yeah.
At work.
Yeah.
And so they'd already be on their email.
Okay.
So we would get like dozens of emails.
But now
every
they
show.
just go to Twitter.
Right.
Or
now they just go to Twitter.
Like they go
or,
to the handle.
Or text.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. But I remember I had my, and it all went to the same place.
Did you have a pager?
Well, I never had a pager.
I didn't.
I'm not that old. You're that old.
I'm not. I mean, I always thought, I'm like, this seems like this makes no sense.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I mean,
I always had like, M. Nelles at whatever, or Mitch Nelles or at whatever. And then I also had Thunder at, and I always had to come to the same mailbox, but you could have it go, like I could have my Odyssey email go to one mailbox and I could have them create Thunder at Odyssey.com.
Yeah.
Or Thunder at sportsradio1250.com.
Yeah.
I know Sparky had like 47 emails back in the day, like until we figured out that you didn't really need 47 different emails. But that was just an aside as we were giving
that
out.
is interesting.
Again, it's the Nick Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Shoot us a text. And we wanted to touch on this a little bit before we got to Mason's extra points to wrap things up. As we know, football has revenue sharing, has a salary cap. Every team is under the same rules.
Mm-hmm.
In basketball, every team's kind of under the same rules. There's a floor and a salary cap, but then there's the first apron and the second apron.
Yeah,
and
which
you
is so
can go
confusing.
over it and pay the tax, or you can not, but there's not a hard cap. Like if you're going to go over it, you're going to pay a penalty, but you can go over it. In baseball, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Right? There is a floor, I think. And there's revenue sharing for the teams that spend the absolute most. They have to pay into a pot, but in general, there's nothing.
Yeah.
So Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, has been going around from team to team, kind of talking about like what it might look like if they had a salary cap. Like what if they did have make it more equitable. And apparently last week he was in Philadelphia. He was talking to the Phillies. Bryce Harper sitting there quiet the whole meeting. And at the end of the meeting, Bryce Harper just exploded and went nuts on him, dropping, some foul language at him about like how that would affect the players and they've worked under the system.
You went to nose with him.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. So like as you see these three sports leagues, Mason, obviously football's figured out something right. There's a team in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
They make billions more than the other leagues make.
Yeah.
And part of it is the sport. People love football more than they love basketball and baseball. But part of it's the finances and how they figured that out.
Yeah.
What, as you look at that, what kind of stands out? Like, does baseball have a chance? Can you go from where they are right now to implementing?
Obviously, you would have a lot of really high-paid players that would be really unhappy about that.
Yes,
and
I think so.
And then do you go away from guaranteed contracts?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like the baseball space is so fascinating because it's like football is adverse to guaranteed contracts. Which in the baseball world, it makes sense whenever you look at some of these where they're paying out players for 10 plus years, or lifetime, in some situations, because they gave a horrible contract and then, somebody like they weren't able to
Juan
play it
Soto
out.
just signed a $765 million
Yeah,
contract.
exactly. It's like, that's insane.
$765 million.
Is he making that for the, for that? Like, I look at Patrick Mahomes.
If they win 2 World Series over the next 15 years, he will have made that money back.
Because it's like directly whatever whatever the teams can make.
Right.
And then whatever Major League Baseball with TV and all that. Exactly. Like they get a share of all that. But it's like the teams can just make all of their money on their own without sharing it out around.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's not how the NFL works, right? Like Packers made $432 million, whether they did anything or not. Like they didn't have to do anything locally.
Right. Whether they
and that's what
whether
it
they
is.
had built Titletown and the ski hill and all that sort of stuff, or it literally
Cleveland Browns don't have to win games, and they're still, they still are getting $432 million.
That is correct.
Which I think, I wonder what the MLB would look like if that was shared out. You know, it's like these contracts they give their top players.
Yes.
There's clearly enough money there. Like, you're not paying these guys if you don't feel like it's a good business decision.
That is correct.
Like these are business people, the owners are business people first.
Yep.
And so you're not paying these guys if you don't, if you're not making that money.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of Rob's meetings, because he does like to go around to all 30 teams and meet with them. It's interesting they meet in their clubhouse. It kind of gives the players home field advantage against the commissioner. If he's trying to spin this and tell them, I think they feel a little more comfortable. Like, I'm sure you felt more comfortable in your locker room than you felt like if you're at a podium or in a meeting, like in a conference room at a hotel or something like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, that's home turf, right?
Yeah.
That's where you get to be. So
clearly, Bryce Harper was not happy about it.
Bryce Harper feels himself. Like he feels good about his position.
He doesn't want his salary going down.
No, he's got to protect it as well. If you missed any part of today's show, make sure you can listen Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey app, iHeart app, everywhere. Whether it's the full episode, you can listen hour by hour, or jump straight to the highlights. Just search up The Mason Crosby Show, hit the follow button. You get every minute of the show your way on your time. Mason's got a little drive ahead of him today. And so we're going to get his mind right before he gets in the car. We're going to let him get to his extra points, just like say what he's got to say.
Yep.
Get in the right frame of mind because I-65 is calling.
It'll be here. Yeah. Well, I think if I go that route, I'll be on 65 for a long time.
Yes, you will.
Through Indianapolis.
He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today? It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nelles on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
You got to turn my mic on. Gosh, you're over there dancing.
Oh,
I have no control over here, you know. Yeah, I'm.
Tommy, should we show him where his mic is? So if I do that, like he can.
I can push it right here, can I?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I saw that. I just don't want to mess anything up whenever I'm in studio.
Fair. We appreciate that.
But I have I've enjoyed being in studio. I like this is fun. I'm gonna always make a point to try to get in at least, probably once a month, maybe,
Yeah, you're gonna be back in
every
like
couple weeks.
a week or two, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
be up in Green Bay.
In Milwaukee at all, or just Green Bay?
I'll be in Green Bay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, playing a little member guest event at Oneida Country Club. So
You don't play golf, Elizabeth. You can't come. Sorry.
Elizabeth, you can't come back. Sorry.
yet.
Yeah, you actually have school. Our kids
yeah.
start school August 4th.
No.
In Tennessee.
That
So
is
summer
crazy
is
talk.
almost over.
Like next week.
Next week, yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, Nolan had 5:30 a.m. football practice this morning. So let's just say a little.
I just threw up at the thought of 5:30
Let's
a.m.
think about him a little bit because I am sure he is gassed right now.
He needs a little humility though, so that's good
Yeah,
for
he
him.
does. Yeah, y'all see him.
He was feeling himself this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know where he gets that from. I don't know where he gets his confidence from. It's got to be from Molly.
You should have seen Mitch's face when he saw Nolan had cut off sleeves when he got told he couldn't
Because
cut the
I literally had
sleeves
gone
off.
and said, can I cut my sleeves? And they were like, yeah, for $200. And I'm like, who's buying my jersey for $200?
Hey,
Nobody.
maybe it was someone
And then he
bought
cuts
it.
And oh my God.
You're so I know. Yeah,
You know what? I have the wrong last name. It's
Yeah,
Nelles,
he just
not
does
Crosby.
whatever he
Will
wants.
you adopt me?
Yeah, do you want to change your name?
You know
Sweet.
what? If I can cut off my sleeves for softball, I will
Well, I
change
mean,
my last name.
Tommy was basically my kid this weekend. So
Yeah, we were walking around all over the place. I have an update here. I don't know if you knew
all
this, but I had a card here that I have on my desk over here from Nora Nelles.
Yeah.
That is from her bat mitzvah,
Yeah.
and I have an update now from Elizabeth Crosby as well. So we got a nice
okay.
we got a collection going on here.
Tommy's
So Mason,
the
you can bring your
absolute best.
Your girls and Nora are going to be like an absolute terror.
Oh,
when they
yeah.
finally
bring
get
your
together.
basketball
Yes.
team to fill out my desk here
All right.
if you want.
Yep.
So.
We'll have them send some stuff in. Yeah, looking forward to the drive. Just going to get my mind right as I head down the road. Elizabeth's going to be a road warrior with me. So if you see us heading down the highway in the big Ford Transit conversion van, just
Nice.
honk your horns.
When
But
you got 7, you
Yeah.
got to get them around somehow.
Yep, big. Elizabeth will be back there watching TV. I'm just going to be trying to lock in
Will
for
she
the
join you
3-hour
at all?
stretches.
In the front, will she like?
No,
no.
she's gonna zombie out back there. I mean,
She probably should. What's your
look at her.
Elizabeth,
She's
what are
got
you
her
gonna
mind
watch?
right.
What are you gonna watch? What's the movie pick? Do you have you don't know? She
Yeah,
doesn't
no
know.
Teen Beach. We're not doing that. I'm
No
tired
TV.
of that
How
show.
about K-pop? There's like K-pop.
I'm tired. I do like a Demon Hunter or something.
Yeah.
No, I said no.
The
I'm
girls
not.
love it.
I cannot
She might be-
do that.
My girls are a little older. It's true. It's a good point. The music's great.
She likes some music.
Yeah, the music's fun.
Well, I do have to get a shout out to Luis and Pato for setting me up last night. And
Nice.
they always hook it up.
What'd you have to eat?
We got room service.
Yeah, what'd you get?
We were so tired.
What'd you get?
What did she get? She ordered the weirdest thing ever. Elizabeth
I would have
ordered.
assumed like chicken
a-
fingers.
well, no, she goes Caesar salad,
Yeah, kids love
cheese
Caesar.
curds,
Yeah.
French fries,
Say
and,
less.
and
Say less. That's amazing.
it was
Elizabeth, good
the
for
weirdest
you.
order ever.
What'd you get?
I had just had chicken burrito.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it was
All right.
tasty.
Yeah,
It was
I
good.
bet. That sounds great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we tried to order everything. I did not feel like moving. Like I said, I was so gassed from this weekend.
I
I fell
taking a-
asleep at like before 9 o'clock.
I love it. I was taking a walk with Mrs. Thunder last night, and I was telling her, she was like, "Oh, do you think like what's Mason going to do with his daughter? Like, do they want to meet? Do they want to meet for dinner or anything
Yeah.
like that?" I'm like, 100%. They are ordering room service and falling asleep
Yeah.
early. There was no doubt in my mind, and that's exactly
I know,
what, yeah.
and I like
And that's what you
I
should've done.
appreciate you like not texting because I always feel guilty whenever I like have to be like, sorry, I can't. So like, yes, I appreciate you not texting.
Not
'cause,
giving you the guilt
Yeah,
trip.
I would have been like, oh shit, and I'd be like,
No,
no,
it's all good.
or I would have just ignored you and been like, I fell asleep at 6:30.
And then talked about the Brewers game.
Exactly.
Oh wait, I
I
guess
watched the
wasn't
whole
awake.
game, but I
Yeah.
fell asleep at 6:30.
Right, exactly.
Weird.
Amazing. Well, drive safe.
All right.
Be awesome.
Yeah. And I'll be on tomorrow.
yeah.
Human Wednesday. I'll be a real human tomorrow after this road trip.
Yeah,
y'all will hear all about it.
Get more sleep tonight.
Oh, I'll be rested. Yeah.
just
I'm sure
make-
Molly.
just make
Yeah,
sure.
Molly will just
welcome
me with open arms and be like,
nothing on the
nothing's
honeydew
happened.
list,
Yeah,
right?
everything just nice and solid.
No back to school shopping or
God.
anything like
Oh,
that.
Gosh.
Five
It's
different
gonna-
piles in
It's
the
going to get
house.
crazy. Yeah, the end of
love
this week, I'm sure, is going to be nuts as we prepare for school starting. I haven't even I don't know. She's probably on it. I don't have to do anything.
Well, good luck with that. Follow Andy Herman NFL on Twitter at Andy Herman NFL for all the latest from training camp with pads on, where Matt LaFleur says it's going to look like some real football today. And of course, tonight at 6:40, it's Brewers Cubs game 2.
Ooh, let's go.
Leadoff show at 5 with Tommy and Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Before that, from 2 to 5 with Sparky. Awesome time with you, Mason. Don't be a stranger. I'd say you're welcome anytime. I know you love Potawatomi, but if you want to make it to Whitefish Bay, the Thunders will show you around.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll come cruise around next
If
time.
you make it to Cudahy, I can't vouch for Tommy.
Yeah.
I don't. What
Yeah.
happens in Cudahy?
Exactly.
Doesn't even happen in Cudahy. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, live from the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I was